Consultative Forum member, the Reverend Scott Brennen, is in the hot seat and has been since taking up a transfer to a Bahama island. And as a resident and priest there, he still sits and votes on the Consultative Forum. Residents are expressing concern over this, some even calling for his resignation. According to a local social media source, in spite of what may have been said, a call placed to the Anglican Church headquarters in Nassau confirmed that Brennen remains with the church and is indeed working in Eleuthera as rector of the parish of St. Patrick, end quote. Now, Reverend Scott Brennen was transferred by Anglican Diocesan Bishop the Right Reverend Leish Boyd, effective September 1st to Eleuthera in the Bahamas. Brennen expressed publicly that he is not happy with the new move. According to information reaching our newsroom, Brennen was ordered by the Right Reverend Leish Boyd to resign from the Consultative Forum by December 2010. News 4 was also made to understand that Brennen also has the option to leave the priesthood for good. At the time of his appointment, there was speculation of Brennen turning down the transfer and remaining here in the Turks and Caicos. But since then, others suggest that Brennen has been traveling back and forth from the Bahamas to the Turks and Caicos, courtesy of TCIG for forum meetings. His latest was for the 15th sitting of the forum Tuesday, November 9th, and after voting in favor of the controversial trial without jury bill, a hailstorm of questions were raised by some concerned residents. Speaking on the issue of Father Brennen's membership of the Consultative Forum and is no longer being a resident here in the Turks and Caicos, was businessman and former deputy leader of the PDM, Sean Astwood.
Yeah, my personal view on it is that nothing against Father Brennen, because he's someone that I know a little bit about and respect, but as for his continued appointment to the forum, I think is unnecessary in the light that he no longer resides in the country, and there's a lot of persons I have that I feel can make a similar or a more substantial contribution to the forum. And I think the interim government should do as much as possible to tend to use people that are on the ground in these positions.
Also sharing his view was Expression's host, Robert Hall.
I made a comment yesterday that if indeed, as I was made to understand, he was transferred to the Bahamas, if he is living there, then he should resign forthwith from the Consultative Forum, and if he does not resign, I am of the view the governor should certainly replace him. Am I to believe there aren't other competent Turks and Caicos Islanders who can fill that position? I think so. And so, to me, the honorable thing to do for him is to resign, and failure to do so, the governor should really replace him. That's it. Now, if, as someone else said, that he has turned down the office in the Bahamas or has resigned or whatever down there and is returned to live in the Turks and Caicos Islands, well then, yes, he could continue with his role.
News 4 tried to contact Father Brennen via email, but up to this broadcast, our efforts proved futile. Chair Lady Lillian Mizik's only comment on the issue is that it's up to the governor.
He was the one who did the selection. He would have known what criteria he was looking for in individuals. And Reverend Brennen's status here is a matter for HE and Father Brennen.
News 4 will continue to follow this story. For WIV4 News, I'm Takara Bain.